Reece, corrupted by dark magic, is now Caelum's weapon. His pack is trapped within Reece's twisted memories. Trinity struggles to regain lost memories, holding a keystone. Caelum unleashes ancient power, hinting at a greater evil. What is the dark power's goal? Can Reece save his pack? What secrets does Trinity's stone hold? Reece gritted his teeth as the warlock's magic tightened around him, the invisible force coiling like snakes around his limbs. Every time he moved, it constricted further, sending sharp bursts of pain through his body. He had fought battles against impossible odds before, had clawed his way out of countless traps, but this time was different. This time, they weren't just breaking his body, they were trying to break his mind. Caelum stood before him, his silver eyes gleaming with cruel amusement. "You still don't see it, do you?" he murmured, tilting his head as if examining an unfinished puzzle. "You fight so hard to hold on to your strength, your will. But what if I told you that everything you fought for was nothing but a carefully woven illusion?" Reece refused to answer, but the warlock didn't need words. With a flick of his fingers, a new spell unraveled, and suddenly, the chamber around them shifted. He was no longer standing in the warlock's lair. Instead, he was in the heart of his childhood pack's territory, the air thick with the scent of pine and freshly fallen snow. His breath caught in his throat as he saw them. His father, his mother, his pack. They were alive. For a fleeting moment, hope ignited inside him. But then he saw the shadows creeping at the edges of the vision, warping the scene. His father turned to him, but instead of the strong, noble Alpha Reece had idolized, his face twisted with sorrow. "You were always meant to be their pawn, Reece." The words hit like a physical blow, and suddenly, the illusion shattered. The pack, the snow, his family, they crumbled into nothingness, leaving only darkness in their wake. Reece fell to his knees, gasping. Caelum's voice drifted toward him, smooth and taunting. "The past cannot be escaped, Alpha. The question is, what will you do with the truth once it's revealed?" Trinity sat in the dimly lit chamber, her hands trembling in her lap. She had woken from one nightmare only to find herself trapped in another. The warlocks had taken more than her freedom. They had taken pieces of her, slivers of her past she could no longer reach. The memory of the silver-eyed woman still clung to her mind. There was something familiar about her, something important, but every time she tried to grasp it, it slipped through her fingers like mist. She closed her eyes, trying to focus, think, remember. A sudden jolt of energy pulsed through her, and she gasped. Images flashed before her in disjointed fragments, running through the woods as a child, laughter echoing behind her, the warmth of strong arms lifting her up, whispered words of protection. Then, fire, screams, a shadowy figure standing over her, stealing something she could not name. Her eyes snapped open, her heart pounding. The warlocks had erased something vital, something that could change everything. A sharp voice interrupted her thoughts. "You shouldn't be awake." Trinity turned sharply to see a warlock standing in the doorway, watching her with wary eyes. He was younger than the others, his expression lacking the same cruel amusement she had come to expect. "What did you take from me?" she demanded, forcing steel into her voice. The warlock hesitated, and for a moment, she thought she saw something flicker in his gaze. Doubt. Fear. He took a slow step closer. "Not everything taken is meant to stay lost," he murmured, before slipping out of the room, leaving her with more questions than answers. Trinity clenched her fists. She was done waiting, done being a pawn in their games. She would find her missing past, and then she would make them pay. Reece gasped as he jolted awake, his chest heaving, drenched in sweat. His hands instinctively reached for his throat, feeling phantom hands that had once choked him in battle. But there was no war, no broken landscape, no scent of blood and magic lingering in the air. Instead, there was the steady hum of an intercom, the scent of freshly brewed coffee, the rustling of people moving about with their suitcases. A chill ran through him as he looked around and realized where he was. An airport. His hands gripped the armrests of his seat, his fingers pressing into the fabric as reality came crashing down. The dream, or was it a dream, had been so real. He had fought, he had suffered, he had lost. He had felt Trinity slipping through his fingers, his friends taken one by one. But now he was here. With a shaky breath, he rubbed his face, trying to push away the remnants of the horrifying vision. His head pounded as fragments of war, captivity, and bloodshed echoed in his mind. What the hell had just happened? Flight 227 to London. Now boarding at gate 14, the intercom announced. London. His stomach twisted. He wasn't here by coincidence. Trinity had gone missing just a day ago. The real Trinity. And he was on his way to track down the last lead. One that suggested Caelum and his warlock followers had taken her somewhere in the UK. That part wasn't a dream. It was reality. But if that was real, what had he just lived through in his sleep? Reece! A voice called out, startling him. A voice, familiar yet jarring, snapped him out of the chaotic swirl of his thoughts. His body tensed, every muscle coiled, ready for a fight that might not even exist. Who? How? His eyes flickered around the crowded airport, searching for a threat he couldn't quite define. Was it just a concerned traveler, a friend, or something more sinister?
I am Trinity. Want to know what happens next? Then click the link in the description below and download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of Chosen by Fate, Rejected by the Alpha,